Hello. Good evening, everybody. Namaste. It gives me immense pleasure to meet you all this evening on 26th July 2020 in the backdrop of COVID-19. I'm Vijay Lakshmi, a counselor, professional counselor working in MITS. It gives me immense pleasure to convey my thanks to Pink Pen, which has given me which has taken a great effort in arranging this and then giving me an opportunity to connect with the the stories of the common man. Okay, common man. Common man. Who is the common man? You are a common man. I'm a common man. People around us are the common men. Apart from the great people, the political leaders and all, leave them all. But yeah, the stories of the common man or oak. Call any revolution, French Revolution, or American Revolution. You take any revolutions, these are all the efforts of the common men. Okay. So common men's problems turned to be the revolutions and became the history. So let's be historical. Though these are the problems of the common man, they are going to create the history. So today's session, the Pink Pen has given me a real task. I don't say it's a real task, but yeah, how to say goodbye to depression and anxiety. This is one. Two, want to maintain the work-life balance. This is the second one. And third one, want to be self-disciplined. Yes. Who doesn't want to be self-disciplined? Okay. Next is the time management, which is going to be the best friend of any successful person. Yeah. All of us want to be successful. Yes. This is the need of the hour right now. All of you want to be stress free? Yes. Everybody want to be stress free because COVID-19 has already sent or threw the curved ball to the entire world, and all the countries have knelt down right now, and then they got surrendered to COVID-19. And in the backdrop of COVID-19, how to maintain our wellness, how the problems of the common man are being addressed. These are all the epic questions. So how is that we are going to answer this? Let's see. Let's wait for the session. So thanks to Pink Pen for giving me this opportunity of sharing my views on the common man's problems, the stories of the common man, and it's not the stories of any political background people or the rich or the rich people, but a healthy person who is the wealthiest person. It's that person's problems. Okay, fine. Health. All of us know this is a term which is quite commonly used. It is nothing but a state of physical, mental, and social well-being. It's where your mind, body, and the spirit are involved. It's the well being, how well we are in the society, how well we are physically strong, fit to do our everyday activities, and how mentally we are sound and well to handle others, to present ourselves in the people, I mean, amidst the people. These are the things that health defines. And wellness is nothing but the interactive process of becoming aware of the practicing health choices that we make and creating a successful, balanced life for self and showing ourselves as a role model to others. This is the wellness person does. Mental health, it's nothing but a balanced development of the individual's personality and the emotional attitude, which enables him to live a harmonious life in the ecosystem with all others. It's the resonance of a personality in how it gets evolved in the ecosystem. And mental health, It's not alone the relationship between the persons, but it is a matter of relationship of the individual with the ecosystem, with the community, with the people all around. So I'm in the house. My community is all the members of my family. I'm in the workplace. My community is the people around me. I'm on a road, the people around me or my community. So, how well I'm interacting with them without hurting anyone, without causing any problem to anyone, or how well I'm going to maintain my own poised nature. There lies the mental health of mine or anyone's. So, the relationship of individuals towards the community in general, that is what speaks about the mental health, the resonance of any personality in the community background. This is what the mental health is all. Do you want to know what are the characteristics of a mentally healthy person? A mentally healthy person, you all know that a mentally healthy person is always cheerful, and he feels like interacting with everyone so very well, treats with, I mean, has respect for everybody. So these are all the, I mean, opinions of quite many people. And first of all, he is the one. So the mentally healthy person is the one who really feels secure and respect all the living beings, because he or she, a mentally healthy person, identifies himself as a part of the community, as a part of the nation, as a part of the universe. Because whatever is there in the universe, it is there within him. And he is or she is interacting with that human being is interacting with the universe all around. If we understand this much, probably we will become more good, more empathetic, more harmonious, and we get sensitized to all the relationships around the people, and then we start becoming very very kind and benevolent and share the love and the joy. Yeah, you want to share love and joy. The universe is full of love, and it's the joy of life. So when are we going to have this joy of life? So look at this. Vijay Lakshmi is speaking to you in the backdrop of COVID-19 about the love and joy, where the joy is sans. We are not able to see the joy all around. We are totally living in the problem, and we can't step out. And lockdowns. The day starts with deaths. The day ends with deaths. During the day, we keep listening to a number of deaths, and then every time we feel like strange feeling. Yeah, when is the death is going to stand in before? I mean, in front of you and going to say, "Pinky, pinky, ponky, you are the one. I'm going to choose you." That kind of thing. So in this background, how well we are going to sustain our own joy and life. There lies the mental health of ours. So that becomes another characteristic of a mentally healthy person, because he or she is trustworthy and able to trust people and maintain that trustworthiness. So that's another one. Then mentally healthy person able to meet the demands of life, able to meet the demands of life and remain successful. He never bows down before the problems, instead goes towards the solutions, having the fear, anger, or love, guilt, all these emotions he or she knows to handle very well. So these are the characteristics, a few characteristics. I'm just going to give you a very few characteristics. And is there anyone who had not heard the theory of personality of Abraham Maslow? Maslow's theory of humanistic theory of personality, which is really gives the essence of life. Everybody, I mean, in everyone's heart, there is a need for love, a need for joy, a need for identification, a need for freedom, a need for achievement, recognition, personal growth, and finally, the apex of it or the zenith of it is self-actualization. And almost all the successful people, they're all self-actualized people. But am I speaking something hi-fi? It's going over the head? Definitely not. Because today we are going to speak, I mean, we are going to discuss about the wellness, about mental health, and in which way this mental health is promoting the life on the earth. It's going to sustain the life on the earth. How this mental health, which is disturbed, when it is disturbed, how it's going to be very destructive. As look into the history, in the annals of history, you see Adolf Hitler, and you have seen, the world has seen two world wars. There are n number of world wars, and now we are seeing the bio war. And we are the right now the witnesses of the bio war. God. So, by and large, the causes of death are heart disease, name heart disease, cancer, lung disease, heart strokes, or accidents, or Alzheimer's, diabetes, and then kidney stroke. A number of causes for the death. But there is one thing that we have to understand. These are all. When we come to discussed about the death. As per WHO, 25% of the people, they are suffering from mental disorder. Out of 20, every 4 are suffering from mental disorder. And this mental disorder or this depression, which is the dictum of the day, it's taking the lives. More than the accidents, it's causing suffering for humans all around. A student, a kid, an aged person, a middle aged man, who else? Everybody is in the pangs of depression, stress, problems, emotional mood swings. So, depression became the most used word, abused word rather, right now. And when you might have heard recently the death of, the suicide of Sushant Singh Rajput, which has really shaken many people's hearts. So young people, like a wonderful actor, he died of depression. And what is this depression? So this depression is nothing but a mood disorder, which is really affecting any person's personal life, any person's daily life. It is described as sadness, anger, loss, or it hampers everyday's activities of any person who goes into the pangs of depression. The symptoms of the depression that can be experienced among the men, women, children, old people, anyone. But every person's, who is in depression, responds in a very different way. So among every these symptoms of depression, when we go to deep into the symptoms of depression, first is the mood swings, highs and lows, aggressiveness, anger, irritability, anxiousness, and restlessness. Likewise, most of them, all the time they will have mood swings. Then Emotional well-being will be totally disturbed. The second one is the second symptom is emotionally they're not sound. Their emotions are totally high and low, feeling empty, feeling isolated. They feel sad. They feel hopeless. They feel nothing is there for me and no one is there caring for me. That kind of expressions or impressions they'll have. Okay, fine. This is really going to be very disastrous for a human and changes in the behavior. There is another one. They will not have any interest in the daily activities. No longer they enjoy the pleasure of being in the company of friends. Or when we do any activity, the sense of achievement we feel, even that will not be there. Every time they feel very tired, and the thought of suicide, it keeps striking, it keeps ringing the bell all the time. They feel like going into the isolation. They don't get the pleasure in talking to others, attending the phone calls, or seeing the light. They feel like, let me lead a secluded life. There's no one for me. There's no one taking care of me that way. And most of them, remember, most of them, they go into a lot of drinking or smoking. And then they engage themselves in the riskful activities. Very risky activities. It's not adventurous, but risky activities because they take pleasure in involving themselves in the risky activities. There's another one, which is another great symptom, sans sexual interest. They will not have any interest in the sex. I'm not speaking about the children, adolescents, and then the family men. They will lose interest in the sex. Then no sexual desire, a lack of sexual performance, which leads again to anxiety, which again will turn to be a stressful, relationship and all that, and their distorted relationships suffer. They suffer. Relationship issues and cognitive abilities, distorted cognitive abilities. They suffer from, they cannot be able to focus, then no concentration, then they won't be able to complete any task, then delayed responses, even communication, they won't be able to do it properly, and they won't be able to complete the conversations, and in which way they are going to perform their activities, daily activities, once they go into depression. There are a number of cases I have handled, these depression cases. They will not have any appetite, no interest for anything. And the most important thing, if you want to really, there is this one, like sleep pattern gets totally disturbed. Disturbed sleep pattern is the strongest symptom of depression. Insomnia, we call it, restful sleep and restless sleep. Then excessive sleepiness also. And mostly there will not be a proper sleeping rhythm. Like their sleep gets totally disturbed. When all others are sleepy, they won't sleep. When all others are awake and then doing the daily activities, these people will be sleepy. So these are the symptoms of depression. And physical well-being, they all the time love to be there on the bed. They say we are fatigued, tired, and then there are pains all around, then headache, and digestive problem, and so psychosomatical problems, they just show it up. So doctors, they very easily, like psychologists, doctors, psychiatrists, they very well understand the symptoms of depression. First, they would ask is, are you properly sleeping? Do you have proper appetite? These are all the questions. I've seen a number of cases of depression, and most of the people who had gone into the depression with adolescents and then young people, love failure cases, they just go to the depression, and then either and in this depression they go for they start drinking, they start smoking, they start doing all other things, unsocial activities also, a few of them. So when this kind of bells ring, please let us not ignore these symptoms, and During the depression, people gain the weight and lose the weight, and there is physical pain, and they love to have substance use. Many people suffer from panic attacks and issues related to relationships. Then they love to be socially isolated. They feel that okay, they are socially isolated. There no friend is there for them, and friends are not talking. That kind of thing, and thoughts of suicide keep always ringing. They'll have visions. They feel okay, somebody is talking to them. They become schizophrenic, and a few of them they harm themselves, self-harming, and they harm others also. Okay, and they suffer from bad dreams. Then they feel somebody is haunting them all the time. you know at times they say, I listen to so many voices and all that, visions, unwanted visions they see. And then and most of the time they keep talking to themselves, because these negative thoughts make them go deeper and deeper into the depression. And that is going to really have a very disastrous impact on their everyday's life and everyday's activities. Then the worst thing is psychological depression. This is, they feel guilty all the time. Feeling of guilt is another one. For that, they blame themselves all the time for the past failures, for the failures of others, or they feel that somebody is blaming them, and all that it is only their own, one's own feelings. And there is another one, that is, they feel worthless. I'm not worthy. There's no one to make a friend of me. There's no one around me. I don't have a real shoulder to rest upon. That kind of feeling really is my. What are the causes for this depression? Start thinking about it. For an adolescent, identity crisis. For a married woman, husband becomes a problem. Or for a young bride who has gone to the in-laws place, mother-in-law becomes relationship issues, harsh talking, anger. These are all the psychiatric disorders, life stressors. These are really the causes of the depression. When we look back into the family history, everybody will have either, I mean, people who suffer from depression, either they'll have such a kind of thing in amongst their ancestors, or uncles, aunts, or brothers, or sisters, or anyone. Early childhood traumas, like they have witnessed an accident, a fire accident, or somebody throw them or put them in a well, or they drowned. And these are the kind of experiences, childhood traumas, or their own dear persons met with a serious accident, and these people have seen it, such a kind, and those are the things, they will have a deep impact on the psychological, uh, on the brain. It turns to be a medical problem. The brain structure, neurotransmitters, they start disconnecting. Dear, dear viewers and dear listeners, dear audience, there's one thing we have to know. All the cells in the body, they regenerate, but the cells here in the brain, they never regenerate. There is a degeneration, and that degeneration will have a distorted connections. That's the reason neurotransmitters, whatever we do, we have to really keep our brain very active. We have to keep thinking, and then doing puzzles, talking to people, having the social networks, connecting with the people all the time, connecting with the books, and then connecting with the ecosystem, talking to people around. So these are the things we have to do. Otherwise, we are really going to lose the neurotransmitter connections. So brain is the wonderful one. See, we talk about all engineering skills all around, but inner engineering, this is the one we should know. And most of us, we never even care the life is precious. Please let us care the life. Family conditions, I have already told you. There are certain conditions which put the individual in the high risk, such as chronic illness. It turns, so slowly it starts with one and ends with many. It becomes a chain, like chronic illness, like asthma. In the beginning, it is only for the body, and later, slowly, it turns to be, I mean, it takes over one by one. And have you seen haven't you seen? The worst part of humans is this. We go to a doctor and then we go for a blood checkup or we go for the MRI scanning and all. And when the doctor says, okay, fine, you're fine, and there is no problem with your physiological, you don't have any physiological problem, but you have little psychological problem. This one, if any doctor tells you, we don't take it, we don't like it. Instead, if any doctor says, yeah, you have this problem, okay, fine, there is some thyroid problem, you take this tablet, you go well, you become all right, we happily take it, and then we love to take the tablet than take the advice of the doctor, or when the doctor says, when the psychiatrist or the psychologist says, okay, fine, why don't you go for a motivational talk, or why don't you listen to the advices of the elders, or why don't you go for workouts, or why don't you have a healthy food and the lifestyle. When such things doctors say, we don't like to take it. Rather, doctor says, you have this problem, physiological problem, take a tablet. We love to take a tablet and we feel, yeah, we are fine and we are comfortable, and then we feel, okay, fine, we are good with it. But remember, there is another thing. This is the one I'm speaking about, the physiological problem. There are psychological problems, low self-esteem. And suppose in a family, there are two brothers or three children in the house. If the parents, they keep praising only one boy, then rest of the two, they develop sibling rivalry. You must have seen a number of movies dealing with sibling rivalry. And this low self-esteem, it's going to really retard the wellness of the mind. And then this comparison of the parents really going to, it probes the jealousy, anger, and then they develop a kind of rivalry with their own brothers or sisters, and then they do the harm. This is one thing. And there is yet another one, like personal history. If there is any medication the doctor gives, people start liking that medicine and they start taking it, thinking or assuming that that medicine is really going to give them the wellness, or it's going to restore their health. So with that, they pop in all the tablets and they feel that, okay, fine, I'm really good with this. But it's not that way. And most stressful is the relationship issues. I have seen love failure cases going directly onto the track and putting their head on the track and then waiting for the, and we have saved a number of lives. And I have seen, I have dealt with the cases who are homosexuals who really suffered. Yeah, madam, without that I cannot live. What am I to do? How am I to come out of this? The clutches of homosexuality is really troubling me. I'm having a very separate identity amongst the people right now. Everybody is jibing me. Everybody is degrading me, blaming me for most of these things happen in the hostels. In the hostels, when you start sharing the room and all that, that problem, relationship issues. It's not alone with the boy and the girl. It's with even boy and the boy. Even in the house, there are relationship issues, and amongst the friends, relationship issues. These are all the stressful events. See, there are external problems all around, but all those problems around, they become very minimal, and our own problems, self problems, we maximize them, and we lose the resonance of the wellness. Oh my God, what to do when we start doing this? And to some people, it is. To some people, it is. economic problems, money related problems, disturbed family lives, single mother, or broken families, divorces, there the children suffer. Adjustment problems, they suffer from adjustment problems. Like everyone craves for love, everyone wants to belong to somebody, every human being wants the kind of security. That security will be lagging to many people, many, many, and that becomes a cause for the depression. So maladjustment is another one. Likewise, if we get to know there are n number of causators for this depression. So when I come across with someone who is in depression, what am I to do? In which way I have to handle that person? Should I listen to that? Should I educate myself to be tolerant and to be helpful to him? Because depression is, it's not like COVID 19, it's not having any respect for gender, race, or economic, rich or poor, or teacher, any professional. It's not having any kind of discrimination. It can fall into anyone. I mean, it can. It can take over anyone. Depression asura, we call it. Such a person like asura, like how asura, the demon, it devour. In the same way, depression devours the wellness of any individual. So let's be sensitive to such symptoms. When you come across with that, try to understand, be supportive, little care, do the little caring, and listen to the problems. Give a patient listening, active listening, be empathetic, don't judge anyone, and then start communicating. Open the communication. You are a team leader, you are a teacher, you are a counselor, or whoever you are. You're a parent or whoever you are. Have a patient listening. Try to understand what your friend is trying to say, what your brother is trying to say. Try to open up, open the communication, because when you open up the communication, many things come out and many problems can be resolved. Then try to identify the signs if anyone is in depression. Then encourage that person to go on to the exercises or inspiring words or good advisors, or take them out, see that they move out. Some kind of attention they require. So if we are able to give that kind of thing, it's very easy. They would come out of it. And there are, in foreign countries, we have self-supporting groups. So I don't know how many of you watch English movies. There in English movies, a drug addict or alcohol addict or some such people, substance addicts, some such people will be dealt with the groups. So all the people who are the addicts who have given up, so they join in therapies and then they start discussing among themselves. So such kind of treatments are available. When you start opening up the communication, the channel of communication, that's going to really help us a lot. Okay, fine. What are the treatments that go for this depression? One is cognitive behavioral therapy. Usually, we just say go for a workout, do little yoga, pranayam, go for a morning walk, and then watch the sun, do Surya Namaskara, then give auto suggestions, positive auto suggestions. This is one therapy. There is yet another second therapy is interpersonal therapy. In this, we work on the relationships, and then we work on the relationships. We help them to set the goals, and then try to talk, and then understanding. We help them to understand others, and these are the kind of things that are there in interpersonal therapy. There's third, another one, dialectical behavioral therapy. It is helping them to tolerate their own self and helping them for mindfulness. Recently Google has, not recently, long back, Google has introduced this mindfulness programs. And in many of the MNCs, these mindfulness programs are being introduced. And even in the working time, even in the working environment, they have already introduced all these things. And then many people are getting stress free, and they're getting benefited, and organization by and large is getting benefited because of the employees become highly potential. So how to groom one's own personality with such things, these are the therapies, they really help us. So depression, so mental health services, or they deal with the early diagnosis. See, for anything, if we try to identify when the problem is really very small and tiny, then we can nip it in the bud itself. It's very easy to handle when it is a small problem. When it becomes bigger, it's really difficult to handle. That's the reason, when it is in prime, if we are able to identify, then most of the problems are solved. That's the reason there is always a true need for a counselor in the schools. All the teachers should learn, or should train themselves to be the counselors. And then every teacher is a counselor, every parent is a counselor, and every friend can be a counselor, provided you have a patient listening, or if you are able to understand everybody. Okay, so then there are modern modern psychiatry, they use even the drugs. Now, I mean, with that help, they try to connect the neurotransmitters, and then the likewise n number of care therapies are there. By and large, all these care therapies, they help. Coming to, okay, we understood now how the depression is really going to work on us. Then, how are we going to really promote the behavior? So, wellness behavior. How do we promote wellness behavior is the real one. Each one, you're all smart, great quick learners. So, young people, you are all techie. So, all that you need to do is do the exercise, go for morning walk. And right now, COVID is not allowing us to do it, but you can do the workout at home. You can do a simple walk, a simple exercise at home itself, and you can do pranayama. Then eat the healthy food. Eat the healthy food. Your diet is really low cholesterol diet. It should be low cholesterol diet and low fat diet, and sodium levels should always be optimized. That is one thing. And then psychologically, try to control your anger and aggression. Okay, fine. When things are not fine in the ecosystem, we really become stressed up, and then our anger levels, our aggression levels really become super super sensitive. Then instead instead of becoming angry, why don't we seek some fun with the colleagues, or with our own relatives, or with the brothers? Play, relax, stress busters. You have a pet, go for a walk along with it. And then, as long as possible, not as possible, try to avoid alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, and all those things. And try to be in the positive environment all the time. That is the one which is really going to sustain your own happiness, joy, and love your life. That is the important one. Okay, fine. What are the characteristics of a wellness lifestyle? And today's lifestyle is really taking the people away from the health, away from the mental health. Like, we become slaves or addicted to the junk food, and addicted to many unsocial activities. So, lifestyle is one thing. First, we should feel responsibility. Personal responsibility is one thing we have to take it. Yeah, if I'm responsible to myself, I'm responsible to my family, I'm responsible, I'm an important person in the society, and I can do wonders. These are the positive statements. They are affirmative statements. They are really going to help you to develop a healthy and wealthy, wellness is your wealth, wellness is the wealth. It's not the riches, it's not the gold that comes along with you. Now you ask any COVID-19 or anyone, they talk about only the health and the wellness and about mental health, only these things they say, but not about the true wealth. And then people stopped running behind the riches and then the gold and other things. My Because this is the positive outlook each one should have. And then you think out of the box and then be open minded, then try to understand others, develop an empathetic feeling for others. Then, because like how you have a right to live, everybody has a right to live. So let live and let others live. So when we develop this kind of outlook, in which way we are going to get benefited? How is this wellness is going to benefit us? It's going to make you, me, very strong in the heart, in the body, and in the mind, because we become stress free. We will not think about, okay, when we don't get stress, we know how to cope with the stress. More than the capability, we know how to cope with, coping with is one thing we understand. Coping with the emotions, coping with the relationships, coping with the stress, these are all the skills we develop, when we are really well enough, mentally well. This mental wellness, that's really going to increase the life expectancy. Let come whatever, we know how to handle all those things. And we start living a balanced life. Okay, come on, COVID-19 has come. Okay, let's live along with it and then we'll handle it. Okay, world has seen a number of problems, World War One has come, two has come, and Spanish flu. Likewise, the fleet of problems to keep coming, and then, but we know how to handle them. But the survival of the fittest. Okay, I'm going to be the real person who is really mentally wealthy, mentally healthy. I'm going to sustain my mental wellness and then going to cope up with the problems. This is going to be your positive outlook, and this kind of positivity is going to enhance your power to handle all these worst situations too. Then meet the people, mobilize them, help them how to handle with all these things. So, dear viewers, I just spoke to you about the wellness, the mental health, then the depression, how to handle the depression, all that. Then move when we know about this wellness, the components of wellness are social, physical, psychological, intellectual, environmental, and spiritual. Social, because we live in the society. Our wellness lies in the wellness of the society. So if I know how to maintain friendship, if I know how to handle my relationships, that's the one really going to help me. Then it's the ability to meet with the people, with the new people of all ages, and to interact with them very freely, and then not hurting them. And with all the due respect, we handle them, handle the relationship, and cherish the relationships. This is one thing. Coming to the physical wellness, having a strong body, strong mind, and strong and very good attitude, super good attitude. Psychological wellness is having a total control on one's own emotions. How to have a total control on the emotions? Do the breathing exercise. Breath. When you start breathing, your life started. Your breath is over. There ends the life. So have a control. Breath is the rhythm of life. when you have a real super good breath rhythm, that's really going to help you to handle. And when you respect all the life forms, that attitude itself is really going to enhance your life expectancy, and it's going to improve your relationships, and it's going to improve your intellectual capabilities. And this is the way you can hone your potentials. And that's going to really help you to expand your own cognitive skills, cognitive knowledge, skills, and the outlook. Coming to the environmental thing, you're part of the environment, you're part of the ecosystem, you're a part of the universe. So you how you handle the environment, it's having cause and effect. Like somewhere in Wuhan, in a nook and corner of a lab, one bad mind thought of releasing this kind of virus, or people were very unkind and they started hogging the kind of food they are not supposed to. They started not respecting the life forms and started devouring them for their own greed. So that has caused for this COVID 19. So probably it's time for us to respect even the environment, all the life forms around. To do all these things, let's have the self discipline. Yeah, I have to be self disciplined. This is going to be the ability to handle one's own self. Self discipline is going to really give you an immediate comfort, and it's going to pave a way for your long time success. That's a beautiful thing. How to have this self discipline. Yeah, with my own self, I should not compromise. With others, I have to always compromise. Like, for example, with my own mistake, I should not compromise. I should be very harsh with myself. But with others, I should be really kind and benevolent. If I develop this kind of attitude, probably, yeah, I'm the most fit to live, and then I'm a real mentally healthy person. Self discipline, which is the keynote for anyone's success. So be disciplined, and discipline is mostly abused word right now. So, to which extent I should have a control? I mean, to which extent I should exercise my power or my right on others, have a discretion. That's really going to this kind of self management. It's going to really help. For this, we have to develop the attitude, adaptability, flexibility, open mindedness, and readiness for change, optimistic attitude, and taking the initiative, that is action oriented. When we become this, we are self disciplined. We should not be a silent witness of everything. Rather, take control over the situation and then take the decisions and be an active participant in bringing that change. This is what all of us have to do. I mean, let be in a home environment or anywhere, try to be active, live in the present. Don't go into the past and the future. Most of us, we do this mistake of going either into the past or into the future, but we totally neglect the present. Give due respect to the present, live. Things happen, live in this moment. This is the dictum, the tenet, and then the tenet of any self disciplined person who manages his own self and then handles many people all around successfully. So, self management deals with the physical, mental, feelings, and the spiritual one. So physical thing already deals with the stress, diet, exercise, nutrition, health, the safety, all these things. And the mental thing, your own intellectual development, knowledge, your cognitive skills, creativity, innovation, and your reading, writing, whatever, all your capabilities and feelings, social, your emotional development, how well you are going to tolerate others, how well your emotions are being handled, what would be your psychological assessment. So, emotional quotient, we call it EQ. And among the circles, among the teams, among the work environment, how well you are going to have the social relationships, this is going to really help you to manage your own self. And finally, the spiritual one, the values, the beliefs, silence, meditation. These are the ones they are really going to help you to maintain your own self management. Most of the counseling skills I learned in the ashrams and not in the universities. Most of the gurus they give us the in silence we learn many things. Keep sit, just close your eyes, sit in silence for 5 minutes, you go within, you reflect upon your day's activities. You will be able to watch your thoughts. You will be able to handle yourself very easily. Please try to do this. Every day, try to make your own make to do list. Prioritize the tasks. Schedule your own tasks or be flexible, but be realistic. At the same time, keep yourself motivated all the time. Knowledge is the power. Try to be confident, take the initiative, bring the changes, take a mastery over one's own self. There are 8 wonderful attitudes. Patient listening, which you have been doing it. Patient listening, humility, tolerance, adaptability, discrimination, decision making, ability to respond, a team spirit by and large. All the time, an individual has to work only in teams. In the family, he has to live in the team of the family members. In the workplace, he or she has to live in the team of others, like your own team, or your own friends. In that team, you have to be a good friend, and how well you are going to contribute for the success of the team, that matters a lot. Everything happens only if you know how to manage your own self. This wellness wheel has to rotate and rotate and rotate. Life is very precious. How well we are going to handle ourselves. If each one has this kind of self management skill, then there won't be any COVID 19 or any disaster. The world becomes a happy place to live in. Everybody can enjoy the life on the earth along with all other life forms. We can lead a harmonious life. So let's listen to the resonance of the heart. Peace, practice peace. Be careful, be careful in the relationships, then handle yourselves properly, and then live, live. I'm saying once again, live, live a very wonderful life, because life is very precious. You mean a lot to your own people. Your life means a lot to you and to your people and to the entire community, because your contribution for the world peace, it's going to be really tremendous. So this day, I really am thankful to Almighty for giving me such a lovely chance to meet you all in this pandemic. But at the same time, I thank Pink Pen for giving me this opportunity. So, any questions? Would like to ask any questions? Anyone is interested? Any questions? You can post them in the live chat. Post them in the live chat. You have any questions? So, as a counselor, I have seen many problems all around, and I had handled with so I have to maintain that confidentiality. I cannot share with a number of cases. Like I have seen love failure cases, then mentally retarded people I have seen. I've seen the ASHA workers, HIV patients who are in great depression, and then students, love failure cases. I have already told you. So all such cases are being handled. So thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Any questions? Any questions? Hello. Any questions? Yeah, there are a few questions here in the live. Karthik says, good evening. Tejasvi says, okay, fine, let me just check. Yeah, any doubts? Hello. Hello, Rukia. Any question? Overthinking. Okay. Somebody is asking how to get rid of overthinking. How to get rid of overthinking. Dilip, overthinking, answer is in your question itself. Instead of thinking, put yourself into work mode. Switch over to the work mode. So the moment you start working, you are thinking, put all the thoughts or transform all the thoughts into ideas. Then give a shape to the ideas and then try to bring them into life if those ideas are really wonderful. You are the evaluator of your own ideas, your own thought process. So do that. Reflect upon your own thoughts. So overthinking is one thing that makes us really lazy. So enter into work mode. Just enter into the kitchen, help your mother, talk to your younger sister, or give a call your friend, or start working on a project, on a new project. So why don't you do all these things instead of thinking? Nights are terrible. Okay, fine. Somebody is saying nights are really terrible. Okay. When do the nights become terrible? When do the nights become terrible? When is the body going to take rest? Only during night time. That rhythm we should never disturb. That's the reason, when your lifestyle, when your night is disturbed, night sleep is disturbed, then entire body rhythm gets totally disturbed. So let's really be careful of our own nights. So let's avoid drinking coffee or tea in the evening, or while before going to the bed, and then go for a physical activity, do a little exercise, or go for a walk, then you will sleep. When the body is really in the restful situation, you don't get the sleep. Instead, you need to really give little activity to the body, then automatically your nights become very peaceful. And remember, most of the repair work for the body happens only during the night. So all your organs, inner organs, they want rest. That's the reason you have to give that much of rest to your body, and then you have to make your nights very, very useful. I hope I'm clear. Okay, anyone you want any question, please do ask. Post it in live chat so that I'll handle it. Oh, okay. Take such every week. I would love to. And nothing gives me happiness than to serve you. I love to take such sessions on give me any topic. I mean, any topic related to you. I mean, for the student or for wellness or for your mental health. I would love to take it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Joy, enjoy life, joy and love. These are the two wonderful things which keep us always very sound, healthy, and wealthy. The real wealth is health and your wellness. Most of the time, I have seen people saying, yeah, if I do this, what others are going to think? Stop it. When you feel whatever you have been doing is really good, then just go ahead. Oh, career guidance. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Putin, you want career guidance? Surely, you give the topic, I'll handle it. Okay. So a few of them want the career guidance sessions. Sure, for sure, we would love to give. And yeah, thank you so much, Rohini. Thanks a lot. Yeah, having such wonderful participants. It's my pleasure having such wonderful participants. Thanks a lot. And COVID 19 has taught us many, many things, especially we should be really, we should maintain the health, which is our real wealth. This is one bitter lesson all of us understood, right? This is the real hard lesson. This lesson really a lifelong lesson. Yeah, thank you so much. Other than thanks, you would like to say anything, please? In live chat, you can post it. Those who have any questions, please. Okay. Thanks from Team Stories of Common Man, Pink Pen. I really love the very topic, the very title, Uh, it's Stories of the Common Man. And you are a common man. I'm a common man. And life is common to all of us. So let's respect life. Let's keep our depression away. Let's handle the stress. Yes, we have entered into the life. Let's face the life. Be brave, be courageous, and then let come anything, we should handle. That's it. Nothing else. Survival of the fittest. I'm going to be the fittest. I'm going to be the, I'm going to handle the situation. Let come any problem. Yes, I'm really going to take it till the last breath. This should be our, I mean, our motivation. So let's go this way. Thank you so much. Yeah, these suggestions are very, very useful to everyone. So let's make our life simpler, easier, and let us handle this precious life with all the due respect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this cutest opportunity. Namaste.